Greetings, everyone, and you're tuning in to another episode of The Unconscious Brother. We're brought to you live with some views and inputs of my own. Now, earlier today in Los Angeles, there was a man reported on a highway in a wheelchair, causing disturbances in traffic. Now, my only concern about this is the fact that a man who visually looks unable to walk was taking it upon himself to get somewhere in a wheelchair on a highway, on a busy highway, very busy and dangerous highway. Now, thankfully, no one was hurt. Of course, that goes without saying. Aside from that, the part that's more alarming is people were driving past this individual who was holding up traffic, who I presume was holding up traffic for a great amount of time, because you're in a wheelchair, you can only go but so fast for so long. We don't know if he took any breaks or anything in between time. Just know the facts that are stated by the LA Times, which is this individual who was on his way to the VA hospital clinic, or however the VA is titled, the veterinarian establishment for veterans. He was on his way there, presumably to seek some attention or benefits. Now, the man's reason for being on the highway is one thing. That's his purpose, right? I find it alarming that people have taken the time to make calls to the police to say, hey, there's a gentleman on the highway in a wheelchair, and no one is taking it upon themselves to just simply pull over and ask the man, hey, is there something that I can do to help? You seem to be going somewhere. Can I take you somewhere? Can I take you half the way there? Something. I just feel like that small act of kindness would have gone a long way. Not only would have helped speed up traffic back to its normal pace, it would have also helped an individual who was obviously en route somewhere and yet didn't have the means to get there like everyone else, which is a vehicle. And again, that's the only thing that concerns me, because at what point did we as a people lose the humanity part where we can look at someone else who is struggling to do something and not have the empathy to step in and lend a hand? At what point did we lose that human to human connection to just have a little consideration about the next person, right? Now, everyone put their energy and their time into avoiding interacting with this man, but how simple would it have been? How much important would it have been to just take a few seconds out of your busy day and ask this gentleman who was holding you up to begin with, or holding others up, right? Just a simple solution as pulling over and creating a dialogue with this individual. Because I'm sure, just as people rubberneck on the highway, I'm sure people drove by and saw that this was a gentleman holding up the far right lane of traffic as they were riding by, wondering why they were driving so slow. What caused no one to just pull over and ask, hey man, are you okay? Who knows? This person could have been going through something mentally, emotionally. He could have just simply been trying to get to the VA hospital. Now you may say, hey, I didn't want to bother with it because I had places to go, or I wasn't sure if this person was crazy and was going to cause harm to me. And for that part, I say, okay, cool. If you don't want to take it upon yourself to do something nice for someone else, that's fine. If you find that the world is going to shit so much that you're not even comfortable helping someone who is clearly unable to drive because he doesn't have a car and he's on the highway pushing a wheelchair, right? If you don't feel comfortable with that, that's fine. All right, well, you just sit in traffic for as long as it takes, right? But let's be honest, like the average person nowadays has a gun. So let's take safety and consideration out of it, right? I mean, why else are these people bearing arms and fighting for their right to bear arms and going to all these gun ranges and taking all these self-defense courses to prepare? What are you preparing for? You prepare for a moment that if it happens, you're ready for it, right? Now, I'm not saying that the guy in the wheelchair was packing the M16 ready to blow somebody's face off. I'm just simply saying people have already been prepared and they're protected and they're bearing arms. So what kind of safety issue would it have been for you to simply just pull over and say, hey man, can I help you? Yes or no? All he would just say was yes or no, right? I just don't get it. I don't get it. Even, let's say you didn't have a car, right? How many people on the highway? I said that incorrectly. Let me rephrase that. Let's say you didn't have the means to carry someone in a wheelchair. But on average, how many people do you think in that moment in traffic had a pickup truck? This is probably the most safest way to go about this. Why did someone driving a pickup truck, as you were going into the middle lane, noticing that there was a man in a wheelchair holding up traffic, why didn't you take it upon yourself to pull all the way over to the side? Ask the gentleman, hey man, is something I could do to help? You can hop at the back of my truck if you want. I've got X, Y, and Z in my truck. I don't have enough room in my truck. Whatever the case may be. You could hop in the back of the truck bed, right? For your safety and mine. And we can get you where you need to go. Simple as that. Or is it too simple? Or am I living in a fairy tale? You tell me. And everyone's always pulling out their cell phones for things that really don't matter, just to blast it on social media to say that they was there. That would have been the perfect time, right? Let's say, okay, I didn't do it because my issue was safety. I didn't want to put somebody in the back of my truck in consideration that they may eventually come back later and say that they were injured on the back of my truck. I didn't want to get sued. Okay, let's say it's for that reason. Let's say it's for insurance purposes or just civil suit purposes. Okay, pull out your cell phone. Hey man, create that dialogue. Hey man, I see you're in a wheelchair. You look like you're going somewhere. I can take you where you want to go. Right? Hey, I'm gonna record this conversation really quick. You can get in the back of my truck. Right? Just know I drive a safe speed. If I'm going too fast, just tap on the window. I'll slow down. I wouldn't go no faster than 25, 30 miles an hour. You just let me know what you're comfortable with. I just want to make sure you're safe because this is the highway and it could get dangerous. Not to mention we're holding up traffic. Let's create that dialogue. Let's create the dialogue to solve a problem that everyone is experiencing, but no one has the insight to just say, hey, let me step in and find a solution. Or is that too much to ask? Is that too much to ask, right? Someone told me, hey man, I times are too tough. I've got a family to get home to. I respect that. Okay, if that's your consideration, I respect that. But just know that every cause has a reaction. And if we choose to oversee things or overlook something that we can have some sort of interaction with and make a difference to, it could mean the world to somebody. It could mean the world to... It could mean something more meaningful in the future, because who knows what type of motion you've set for the future for yourself and that individual and those people in traffic. Cause and effect, people. Cause and effect. Let's do something nice for other people. Let's not always look for what's in it for us. Let's see what we can do to make the world a better place, because hey, at the end of the day, that's all we all have is each other. Like it or not. Love thyself. Love thyself is something I always like to say, because you first have to love yourself. In order to love yourself, you will then gain the insight to learn to love other people, because they too are people, just like you. Now, everyone is different. Everyone has different appearances, mind states, different views and opinion, right? That doesn't mean we have to dislike them. We just don't see things the way that they do. Simple as that. I just think, hey man, at the end of the day, long story short, if you summarize everything, there was a lot of time, energy, and money wasted on something that could have been resolved in a matter of minutes. Just simply pulling over and asking the gentleman if you wanted to have some assistance, yes or no. At that point, it's out of your hands. If the man go, no, I'm good, then that's cool. You did your part. Keep it moving. However, think about it. There was news reporters, police, people were held up in traffic. That's time, energy, and money that cannot be returned. All because no one has taken it upon themselves. Let me rephrase that. All because someone didn't find it within themselves to just be sympathetic enough to an individual who's on the highway trying to get to the clinic where the veterans are. This man, in hindsight, has fought for a country that would rather see him push himself on a highway in a wheelchair while trying to get to his destination, which is in fact the place that a lot of veterans are having a very difficult time navigating through. And I say that because I know a lot of veterans, and they tell me firsthand that the VA hospital is not for them. It's very difficult. You may wait months, years to get the help you need. And here this man was determined enough, after fighting in the far country, after being harmed, after being in a wheelchair, determined enough to get himself to the place where there's no guarantee he will get the immediate assistance he needs. Give the man 5, 10, 15 minutes of your day. Take him to the VA hospital. Take him. Even if he was going to the strip club, take the man to the strip club. It would cost you nothing more than a few moments of your time, which you clearly were already wasting sitting in traffic. It could have sped up the process of traffic a little bit more faster. Come on, people. We've got to be more considerate of other people. Well, he wasn't too considerate getting on the highway. I'm not going to argue with you there. But then again, the man had to get somewhere. Who knows if he had to get there within a certain time frame. Obviously, he didn't have any help or resources to get there because he was getting himself there in a wheelchair. Let's go. Wake up, people. Wake up. The time has passed now. Let's wake up. Let's do the right thing. This is the Unconscious Brother signing out. Please do the right thing, people.